Dude, did you hit it?
I don't think so.
I thought you nailed that bitch.
Think so?
What's up guys, you're here with Unilop's YouTube channel, and this is the place where we break it down. We go into detail with the equipment that we use and how we use that equipment, application specific. Today, we're gonna be taking a look and reviewing a rifle that I just became familiar with this past year, the Desert Tech SRS M2. We're gonna be going over the configuration as this rifle comes directly from the factory, as well as the add-ons, the custom equipment that we put on it, everything from the suppressor to the optic to the loads and the barrel and cartridge selections that we chose. Once I break this whole thing down and explain to you guys pretty much application specific configurations that we went with, we're gonna shoot all of them. We're gonna shoot groups with the 250, the 260, and the 338 and show you guys exactly what we're gonna be using this system for. The rifle style, the Bullpup style, is something that I've never ran up until this year. It's a configuration that, to be brutally honest, it's a little bit different to get used to. And I won't sugarcoat it, it is different. You know, you take a traditional bolt style rifle and you shoulder it and you might have a 160 degree throw. You know, your elbow might be here at 160 degrees, where on a Bullpup style, you're kinking it back into maybe somewhere along a 45 degree. That's a different feel because you're not right below the trigger, but the benefits, I mean, obviously the more reps you get in, you're gonna develop muscle memory, and it's just gonna be, it'll just be a second nature. You know, it'll turn into a habit. You'll get used to it. I already have. But the awesome feature about what a Bullpup style rifle actually does is it gives you good barrel length in a very short, compact platform. And it does all that by having pretty much all your mechanics back here over your cheek weld behind the trigger assembly instead of out over in front like a traditional bolt style. You know, you look at a traditional bolt style rifle, you got your magazine, you got your bolts, you got your action, everything up above your trigger. Back here, you have your mag, you have your bolt, you have your chamber all back here behind the trigger. And what that allows you to do, if you compare it to your traditional style rifle, is you can run even a longer barrel length in a shorter, more compact platform. And that's something, you know, for you just to decide if that would be feasible, if that would be a good option for you. Like I was saying, the benefits of a Bullpup style rifle is just take a look at this. We'll match the butt stocks up and look at the overall length, right? This is an 18-inch barrel with a 6-inch suppressor. This is a 22-inch barrel with like an 8-inch suppressor. And we're still 4 inches shorter, 3 inches shorter. You know, to some guys it might not make a difference, but personally for me, like when we're carrying the packs that we do, we run Eberly stocks. When you put this in your pack, the whole thing literally disappears in the scabbard. And when you have your center of gravity down next to your back and you don't have your stock sticking up a foot flopping around, so much easier to carry, so much easier to climb, get up on our kill boxes, to walk miles without having that rifle flop back and forth. It's like it's not even there. The very first impression that I had regarding field time use of this was the handling, all right? That's was my first impression. the weight distribution, how all of your weight, how your mag, how everything is back towards the rear of the rifle, being able to shoulder it and handle it it's comfortable. It's just a completely different feel, especially from everything that I'm used to. In this particular, like I said, the first experience that I had, we had a coyote coming into a kill box. He was circling downwind. Instead of leaning over the bales and having some good surface area, a good steady shot, he wasn't gonna let us do that. So I had to circle around and take about a 50-yard freehand shot. And I bet I was in just a standing position for probably 2 or 3 minutes. In a system like this, it's easy, stupid easy compared to what we usually use. You know, like I said, it's all about the weight distribution. I was really, really impressed with that. Breaking this down from the factory, the SRS M2, the difference, I'm not gonna go into all of the specific details between the SRS M2 and the A2, but this M2, one of the noticeable differences is the Arc-A-Lock rail. I actually have had an Area 419 Arc-A-Lock on one of my night rigs that I use with my thermal, so I'm not unfamiliar with it. It's a nice system. It's basically an Arca rail with teeth, and you can use any kind of Arca Swiss adapter to run on it, but if you use the Arc-A-Lock adapter, what it does is they're almost like miniature recoil lugs. So if you're running a heavier recoiling rifle, if you're proned out in a solid shooting position and for some reason your Arca becomes slightly loose, those Arc-A-Locks still keep it engaged and keep it in a pretty solid position. It's a really nice feature. I like it. I'm used to it now. That's a really nice option that this rifle has. Up from the Arc-A-Lock, we have the pick rail, the monolithic pick rail that goes basically from the rear of your action all the way to the fore end. And that's got a 30 MOA cant. And that gives you that feature gives you pretty much 2 options. One being the 30 MOA cant gives you more adjustment in your day optic for those, I would almost call it extreme long range shots, but it also keeps your clip-on device on the same axis as your day optic. So if you decide to run a thermal clip-on or a night vision clip-on, like for example in this video, we did some shooting with it with the PVS 30. That 30 MOA cant keeps everything lined up. And it's a really nice feature because it allows you to take a precision day optic and turn it into a precision night optic in a minute. The fore end has your standard M-lock. You can configure that however you want. If you want to put, we've put an M-lock on it and added a silencer co-radius LRF. You could put a light, whatever, however you want to configure it, customize it, that's up to you. Now that we went over that, what we're gonna also take a look at is you've got the details of the rifle, the potential, what you have on this rifle is all right, let's just keep going. What you can do on this rifle, it's really modifiable regarding everything. And what I mean by that is, back here at the rear end, you got the magazine and you have a monopod that you can do 2 different things. Quick, rapid deployment right there. It's spring loaded. You can just done, and you can fine tune it by threading this in or out, which will give you small increments. When I actually shot my 3-shot group with this 250, this is what I did. Fine-tuned that. We'll show you guys some overlay of how rapid you can swap your barrel assembly out as well as your bolt if you need to. So now here's where we're gonna get into the custom components and how I set this up for our use. So let's just do it the easy way. Let's start from the muzzle end and work our way all the way to the back. Usually we run the SRT Arms 224 vapor suppressor in most of our stuff, but this year we're always experimenting, we're always trying new equipment. That's how we get guys proper insight based on our experiences to use different shit. And this suppressor is the Diligent Defense Co. Enticer LTI. Stupid light suppressor. Amazingly, it's so amazingly light. It's crazy. Sound suppression is optimal. Great can. Real quick about that without doing a suppressor review. It's pretty modular. You can take the end cap off and run a 224 end cap, 6.5 aperture, 308 aperture if you want to, and then back here on the threaded portion you can go 1/2 by 28, 5/8 by 24, whatever your system requires. You can get it in a pretty much adapt that however you need to. Right below it, I'm running the Atlas Bipod, and I also have the Area 419 Arc-A-Lock adapter. So this actually does engage the Arc-A-Lock. If you slightly loosen this, you can feel it. I mean, it's loose, but it doesn't go past those small recoil lugs. And then we also have a barricade stop here, which I will never use, but it came with it, so it's there. The optic of my choice is I'm really impressed with the glass and how light these are, which we shouldn't be concerned about the weight, but we are sometimes, is the Leupold Mark V 7-35. And this has the H59 reticle, which without getting crazy on it is my preferred reticle. I love it. I love the H59. It's something that I've had for the past 15 years in our initial USOs and the ER25, the LR17s that we were running, like I said, 10 years ago. And it's an awesome reticle to call your shots. It's an awesome reticle to mill if your buddy has it, and just make fine-tune adjustments if you've got a partner to shoot with, and even if you're by yourself. And it's a Christmas tree style reticle, but I like it. You know, I'm used to it. So this rifle from the factory did not come with this barrel. You know, there's certain barrels and configurations that you can get, everything from like the 308s to your Creedmoors up to your 338 calibers, your Lapua or Norma, but I wanted a 22-250. I wanted to run this in the realm of what we do, and that's murdering coyotes. That's smashing coyotes, and I wanted to test it out so that we could get its use, we could get it on video doing application-specific work. In order to do that, I had to go through a second source. I had to go through Short Action Customs, and they made a hammer. This is a 1-in-9 twist Bartlein barrel, finished at 22 inches, which is just at the end of the fore end of the rifle. That's how I told them I wanted it. It's throated for the 50 grain VMAX, optimized for our specific load development at a 2.4015 case overall length chambering. The first loads that we ran through this, John shot a group, Keith shot a group, I shot a group, and they were all literally 1/4 inch groups. And we'll show you. The barrel's pretty pimped out if you look at it. You can't really tell, but it's Cerakoted to match the flat dark earth furniture composite of this stock, of this chassis, and it's also spiral fluted. We just did it because, you know, we wanted to do it. It's a nice, crazy hammer of a barrel, and I'm jacked to be using that this year. We killed probably a dozen coyotes with it, like I said, towards the tail end of what we do, but this is gonna be in our lineup for this year for sure. The thread pitch, of course, on our standard 250s, we personally always run 1/2 by 28. That's the threads on this. The load development, now this is at your own discretion. I'm just gonna throw this out there and tell you guys how this thing's just throwing them in the same hole. We're running Lapua brass, Federal Gold Medal Match 210 primers with 35 grains of Varget, and we're pushing the 50 grain VMAX, and it just smokes it. I mean, we're looking at we chronoed it with the lab radar at 3,800 feet per second, which is, it's quite a bit faster than we're running with our other rifles, partially because of the barrel length, right? We go back to the barrel length, and I'll touch base on that super quick. This is a 22 inch barrel. Most of our other Mottos and Marauders are 18 inches. There's about 4 inches difference there. Usually with 1 inch, every inch that you cut off, you're compromising 25 to 30 feet per second. So you're looking at easily 100 feet per second that we're giving up with our other platforms, which shooting coyotes at 100 yards or 400 yards, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't. But if you're one of those guys and you want to shoot a screamer, you want to have a max point blank range at 300 or 400, could be an option. The other 2 barrel configurations that I'm running are going to be the Remington 260 and the 338 Norma Mag. The Remington 260 is a 1-in-9 twist Bartlett, finished at 26 inches. It'll be threaded 5/8 by 24. We're going to be running the Shadow XL TI on that. And the purpose of that rifle or that configuration, the reason I wanted to have that as an option is for mid to long range work. So the 250, in my mind, covers everything from predators in your face to 400 yards. The 260 goes up to, the 260, we're looking at, you know, your big game, your smaller big game, antelope, whitetail, mule deer, or just for us, a lot of times trigger time, shooting steel from 400 yards out to 1200 yards, and we'll show you guys that. We will do that on video just to show you guys the potential and how this thing works at mid to long range. The load development on that, real quick, we're running Norma Brass, Federal Gold Medal Match 210 primers, 42 grains of H4350, pushing the Lapua Sonar 139ers at about 2,800 feet per second. And I'm running a mag length, which is about 2.810. That's just throw them in, they shoot. That's a good setup. Like I said, that's my load. It's not a hot load. Use it at your own discretion. My 3rd and final configuration that I'm gonna be running on this and that we're gonna be showing you guys is the 338 Norma Mag. Once again, it's gonna be a 26-inch barrel, threaded 5/8 by 24. The suppressor of our choice on that is going to be the Shadow Lapua Mag TI from SRT Arms. It's a 1-in-9 twist. Sorry, it's a 1-in-10 twist. And the load for that is Norma Brass, Federal Gold Medal Match 215 Magnum primers, Vitavori N570 at 89.5 grains, pushing the 300 grain Burger OTMs at about 2,800 feet per second. And that thing is a hammer. The concept of that platform is big game. That's our elk killer right there. And I've personally taken that cartridge or that configuration on my custom rifle out to 2,050 yards on an MOA plate, and we've got it recorded. We've just never shown anybody, but we are going to do that with this. We're going to take it out to 2,000 plus yards and show you guys the potential that a system like this has. A one chassis system with multiple configurations. Like I said, everything from a smaller high velocity cartridge for predators to mid to long range shooting to the ELR game. It's all right here in a small, short, compact platform. All right, safety, Selector, you know, it's non-traditional. It is an ambi safety, ambidextrous safety. You can run it with your right trigger finger, or if you're a lefty with your left trigger finger, or if you're a righty with your right thumb. It's up to you, but it's different, it's non-traditional, it's right there, it's pretty simple, but once again, it's a learning curve. Once you develop that muscle memory, it becomes a habit, like everything with this. The trigger is a little different. It's a straight trigger, and it's got a little bit of creep, but I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna bitch, because you see the groups that we shoot, I'm not gonna bitch. The main concept that I want to explain to you guys and we'll show you is how rapidly you can swap out barrel assemblies. There's 4 set screws. This rifle comes with a supplied torque wrench straight from DT. You loosen the set screws, you disengage your master switch, you pull a bolt, or you pull the barrel assembly out, you put a new barrel assembly in, you re-engage your master switch, and you torque all 4 set screws to spec, and you're done. As long as your bolt face is the same like it is between the 250 and the Remington 260, which is a 308 bolt face, until you get to the 338 Norma, then we're gonna have to pull the whole bolt. We have to remove the recoil pad, pull the bolt out the back, and do a complete bolt swap, but it doesn't take very long. We'll show you guys the whole process. Let's shoot. That was probably
Mill it. Or look at the lines.
3/4 of an inch. I'm getting such a mirage right now. Well, if I mess this one up, then I mess it up. But those were in the same hole. I just had such a bad mirage. Those were literally in the same hole. Blow. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, that's better than the Marauder. Good.
Think how much worse your Mirage would be too. If you're
a lot of people have concerns with the triggers on these Bullpup style rifles, but like I said early on in this review, I'm not going to complain about it, and it is fully adjustable. One more thing that we'll take note is the mags. You need to have a cartridge specific mag for each one of the platforms that we're running. So the 260's got its proprietary mag, the 250 has its custom proprietary mag, and then of course the 338 Norma has its mag. So we just got done shooting the group with the 250. We're gonna swap the barrel out to the 260, shoot a group on steel at 500, and then take it out to 1150 real quick.
Well, let me make sure it's in right first. Let me find where it goes in right. Kind of right there. Are you ready? Is that good enough?
Just lock it in and we'll shoot. We'll verify 0 at 100 and then we'll shoot. All right, so what we have here is, hopefully this audio is picking me up, but just so these guys know what the deal is, we'll go to the left here. Drop your head a little bit. Okay, the paper target right there, center screen. That's what we just shot with the 250 and shot a quick 3-shot group. It's a hammer of a barrel, the hammer of a setup, and it just smashes all the way from 0 to 400. Okay, we'll go on down here. The next small target, center your screen, focused on it. It is 200. The next targets, the 2 targets, there's a coyote target and a small target to the left of it. That is 300. The next 2 targets, or 3 targets, there's a coyote to the left, there's a spinner to the right, and then right up above it there's a small one on that panel. That's 400, quarter of a mile. What we're going to do is we're just going to go straight to 500, which is the one up and to the right on top of that bale. I'll zoom it in. Hopefully I can get a decent vapor trail. Yep, I'm good. I'm 4K. Let me just make sure I'm focused on the bale.
You want me to hit one of those deer behind it instead?
No. Okay, hold on a second. I should be good, dude. I should be good. I'm focused on the bale. Go for it. Just do a quick 3-shot group. I don't want to say quick, but 3-shot group. Oh yeah, dude, you got a good vapor trail right there.
How's that for a 3-shot group?
We'll go down there and look at it. Just stacked them.
And that's with the wind. I was holding probably 3/10 for wind. Yep, 3/10 for wind.
3/10.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we did was, like I said, we pulled the 250 barrel off, swapped it out with the 260 just to kind of show you guys the capabilities of that. We're probably not going to be shooting anything past 500 with that little 22-250, so we brought the 260 out, swapped the barrel, and then hopefully we're going to go right here, center screen, up top. That is 1150. Shoot a couple rounds there and see if we can get it to hammer.
I held 8/10 and I needed 5. Left edge. Could you hear it?
Yep.
Could you
All
hear it?
barely, because you talked, but it rang right before you talked.
I talked after. I made sure I could hear it after I said something. Before I said something.
You can hear that one easy as shit.
You should be able to see it too, because it's in the middle.
Three for 3.
I think
So-
I barely clipped. I think they're all in the bottom left corner.
We'll just run out there. I'll put a different lens on this camera because this is my 500 millimeter on my R5, and it's tough to show you guys the real distance, but it was just a little bit easier to put that 260 barrel on, start at 500, go out to 1150, and you saw the beginning of the video where we crushed it at 2200 with the 338. And then real quick, we're going to show you guys how to swap that bolt. I got the bolt and another barrel, and we'll go through that real quick. All right, now that we just got done shooting a group with the 260, we're going to drive down range and show you guys. But before we do that, I'm going to show you how quick it is to swap this whole configuration from the 308 bolt face, which is 0.470, to 585 Magnum bolt face for the 338 Norma. Pull a bolt. So what we're doing now is just showing you how to swap the barrel. Putting the 338 barrel on after we put the 585 bolt face, and really the only thing that we've got to worry about with this is getting the suppressor on it. But we've just showed you guys 3 different cartridge selections for 3 different range applications, all in one platform, all with one chassis, and they all shoot a lot better than I thought they were going to. We'll drive down range real quick and take a look at.
That is a fucking short little bastard like that without a can.
I know, it's deceiving. We'll take a look at the 500 yard target and then the 1150 and show you guys how they printed on steel with that 260 Remington. You know what it did at 100 with the 250 and the capabilities at 2200 yards with the 338. Now I'll show you mid-range. There's 200. There's 300. There's 400 right there. And then we're heading out to 500 right here, where that AR 500's on top of that bale. We'll pull up there and see what John's quick 3-shot group looks like. Should we go measure that?
It's bigger than I thought.
Okay, this is 500. Let's put my thumb up here for reference. So that's probably 3/4 of an inch at 500 yards. Not 3 inches, 3/4 of an inch at 500 yards. So you guys, you won't be able to see, but we were shooting from way back up there. All right, now we're not even halfway to the next target. How good was the second, the group at 1150?
Probably 8 inches.
So not quite half, but it's kind of tough when that wind's doing all sorts of different goofy stuff. Just got this road nice and graded, dude. Did you see that?
Is it from the rock grader in the yard?
Yeah. I didn't do it, Ford did.
Oh. Did you grade this up here too?
Yeah, all of it.
It looks like it.
This was peaked up like a son of a bitch.
This is good.
It wasn't gonna have any water holes on the top.
No.
So we had some guy that does professional, runs a professional motor grader, John Deere road grader, and he came out here and graded this road specifically for us so that we could drive out here to the target without getting shook all up.
In the Raptor.
In the Raptor, yeah.
Raptor up.
Yeah, I didn't want to jiggle the shocks loose.
Holy shit.
There we go. There's our 1150.
That's bigger than I thought.
1150 yards. We'll just show you guys. We're not real impressed with John's group on this, but it was 3 for 3 real quick. Oh, that one just, it looks like it barely clipped to the left edge, but, or did it? It did though. I spray painted it. You can see a little bit of shavings off to the left, but all 3 of them right there. The bottom right, bottom middle,
Spread,
and then there's a little bit to the left. Yeah, if you look at the vertical dispersion, it's not bad. It's under half MOA. All of that's horizontal from wind, I would say. So this should finish up the Desert Tech video. We'll just get a little bit closer here. All 3 shots. One, that's about 4 inches apart, and those are about 4 inches apart. That's not too bad for, I mean, it's a little over half MOA at 1150 yards, but for doing it how quick we did, just to show you guys the capabilities of that rifle, that's not bad. And then you can't even see it, but man, we're way back. Hit that furthest bunch of trees. Way back in the middle of the screen, there's a little saddle in those trees. That's where we shot from.